All right, are we live? Are we ready to rock? All right, Kay's giving me the shaking of the head, the nodding of the head. Yes, so good to see you. I feel odd without my headset on today. But of course, anybody who knows me will get a kick out of this. So we've got Miss Texas coming in studio. So I know I'm going to want a picture with her because she's getting ready to compete in the Miss America competition. So I didn't want headphone hair. So there you go. And we also have Kit Whitehill in studio with us. She'll be joining us in a few minutes. And she is the TFRW president-elect. TFRW, what is that, you ask? Well, stay tuned and you will find out very, very soon. Wanted to go ahead and if we can cue up the video, Faye Curtis and Brett, y'all don't let me forget to give an update on JP's dad because we've got great news. So, Faye Curtis, who's been in studio and been a member of the crew for years and years, and then Brandy Braley, who is a new member of the crew. She was the Teacher of the Year from Legacy Preparatory Charter School 2 years in a row. They've both been in studio talking about breast cancer awareness, the Susan G. Komen 3-day walk. Both ladies left Collin County and headed to San Diego, and they are actually at the walk. We're going to get some live footage and some pictures from them for our show on Monday. But I wanted to go ahead and bring this up. What is very interesting this time around, and let me pull this up. Oh, hey. Oh, you know what? Oh, Faye is so good. So I'm going to also send to you some pictures. Faye has got pictures. And Brett, can I just text these to you, sir? These are some pictures of Faye. And, these are so great. This is what I love about having my phone accessible during the show. Faye has sent me, this is so great. Pictures, wait till y'all see these. Pictures from the walk. They are kicking off at 6:45 a.m. California time, which is 8:45 our time. So she's already got pictures from the crowd. Let me send these over because I've got to share these with the crew. These are fantastic. But anyways, Faye Curtis and Brandy Braley are both out there, and God bless these amazing ladies. They both hit their goals. They're already raising money for next year's 3-day walk, but they are out in San Diego getting ready to walk 60 miles. That's just amazing. I just love that so much. Let's pull this up. So the Susan G. Komen run, and I texted those three over to you, sir. The Susan G. Komen walk this day, it kicks off today in San Diego. And this is, and I didn't know this until I saw this news story this morning. This is the country's only in-person walk this year. So God bless all the men and women who are out there and their families who are supporting them. I just think this is amazing. So San Diego and people from across the country will be walking the streets of San Diego to raise funds and awareness in the fight against breast cancer. They are gathering for the 2021 Susan G. Komen San Diego 3-day, which kicks off today, November 19th, and is the only in-person 3-day event for 2021 because of the COVID pandemic. In the 3-day is a 60-mile journey that ends Sunday, November 21st at Water Park Front. It begins at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, and walkers will make their way through the streets of Del Mar, La Jolla, am I saying that correctly? Pacific and Ocean Beaches, Mission Hills, and Hillcrest. There will be cheering stations along the route, and they will be encouraging participants on their journey. During the 2019 3-day in San Diego, more than 2,225 women, men, and teens joined the journey, raising, and this is just staggering and fantastic, raising $5.7 million for breast cancer research, screening, and treatment. The San Diego 3-day has raised more than $140 million to fight to end breast cancer since 2003. That's just so wonderful. Let's see, do we have those pictures? Okay, so let's show the pictures. These are so great. I love it, love it, love it. Look, isn't that awesome? Look how fantastic. So Faye Curtis, we are so excited for you. I think Brandy will send us some pictures for Monday. Do we have another shot? And I love it because, Faye said they all dress up from head to toe. Look how phenomenal these ladies look. They look Awesome. Oh, I love it. So Faye's mask says pink souls in motion. You've got to love that. All right. Any other picture? I think she's got one more picture. Okay. So this, if I am correct about this shot right here, this is in honor. Remember Faye, when she came in studio and talked about who she was dedicating the walk to this year, it was her friend Michelle. And I believe, if I'm correct, that's a picture of her. And that looks a wee bit like a Texas homecoming mom, which, get bigger each year. My goodness, that's crazy. But I love that. So it looks like that's a beautiful picture of Michelle on there, who Faye is honoring this year. Of course, Brandy is walking in honor of her aunt. So just good stuff. And we just want to say from the crew to both Brandy and Faye and to all the individuals who are out there walking and all the teams who have made the trek to San Diego and are walking in unison to fight breast cancer. This is a disease. Too many of us, it's hit so many of us, friends. I know, like I said, my mom and my stepmom are both breast cancer survivors, longtime survivors now, thank the good Lord. This is a disease that we need to end. And with all of the money being raised, I think it's about time for us to find a cure. But we want to say God bless you to our members of the crew, Brandy and Faye, who are out there. Hope y'all have a great time. And we can't wait to see y'all here back in studio when you get back home to Texas. So very excited about that. JP, I got an update. He and I were texting this morning, and we've got some great news about Stan the man, his dad, who we love dearly. For those of you who haven't tuned in a while, JP's dad, Stan, has been in the hospital. My goodness, we're going on his third week now. Went in because of an issue with a growth, and then that was delayed. They had to delay the surgery on that. But the good news is he is finally with a great doctor and a great medical team that are addressing his congestive heart failure issues. And right now, JP said that he is doing so well that they have moved him from the hospital into the rehabilitation unit. So praise Jesus. That's awesome news. Thank you so much to all the prayer warriors and all of the members of the crew who have been praying for JP. JP and his dad. JP has spent a lot of long nights at the hospital. I know a number of us have brought food up to JP and his dad and everybody while they've been up there. And again, I've got to give a big shout out to his doctor who let Stan have his little pug Cleo come in this past weekend. And like JP said, that was the absolute best medicine his dad could have had. But now he's in the rehabilitation center, so we're real excited about that and look for more good news to come from JP, hopefully on Monday morning. So, all right, this is an exciting show. So I get to have two amazing Texas women, strong Texas women in studio today. And our first guest is Kit Whitehill, and Kit is the TFRW president-elect. Yes. Did I get that right,
You
Kit?
Got that perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
She is, and if you ask what is the TFRW, that is the Texas Federation of Republican Women. We're going to put information up there about how to get involved. So many members of the crew, and if you're a guy, you can be an associate member. So don't start squawking. I don't want people to say, "Where's the men's version of this?" Well, Republican women are the ones who work and the ones who get things done. So it is what it is. So support the women and become an associate member. But the TFRW, Texas Federation of Republican Women, extremely influential in every election cycle, Kit. So first
Absolutely.
of all, welcome to JP, Kathy, and the
Thank
crew.
you. Thank you. Can I say one quick thing
Yes,
about the walk?
absolutely. Yes.
So I'm really glad I'm here today because I walked with Pink Souls in Motion maybe like 10 years ago. I don't know.
No
That's
way.
the team I went with.
Oh, I love
when it was
it.
here in Dallas. So,
I love it. Well, hey, Faye, there you go. Another connection. I love it.
So,
Oh, that's
good luck, ladies.
awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I just love that. See, TFRW ladies are making a difference. And, not just in elections, in all kinds of things. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that in the near future. But let's talk about TFRW and the kind of impact they have, local elections, primary elections. In the general election, when I was at the Texas Federation of Republican Women Convention just last month, I knew we had put in some serious hours.
Yes.
I had no idea. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so in the last 2 years, during a pandemic,
Yes.
Our members logged over 2 million hours of volunteer work.
Wow.
And the thing is, I know it was a lot more than that because
Wow.
we're not all great about logging our hours.
I didn't turn mine in until after the fact. And my club president, Jennifer, hi, Jennifer, I love you. She was like, you're kidding me. Because I was a victory co-chair with Angela Paxton.
gosh. Oh.
And she's like, you're kidding me. And I was like,
So
I was
busy.
too busy to
Yes,
think,
yes.
you know?
But so there's numbers on like how much candidates have to pay for volunteers if they hire volunteers, and the numbers range like some say $26, $24 at an average of $25 for $2 million. That would be saving candidates like $50 million, I think.
That's
with us, 'cause
unreal.
they don't pay us.
Right,
We
right.
are,
I mean, this is literally, put your heels on and hit
right.
the ground running.
That's
And
right.
this is pure volunteer work. So let's talk about the TFRW because, for example, I know I'm a member of a local Republican Women's Club here in the Collin County area, the Plano Republican Women. How does that how does the local club tie into the state
Okay.
and then the national level as
Right,
well? Because you
right.
kind of get three for the price of one,
You
really.
do. You do.
Yeah.
And to me, one of the main benefits of being in TFRW is that networking that you get,
Yes.
meeting women all across the state, and even just like in the Dallas area, we have a Dallas Council of Republican Women, so Dallas County Council. So you've got that group of women right there. Then if you get involved and we have quarterly board meetings,
Right.
we have conventions. And at our last convention, we had over 800 women there.
Yeah.
And the things being selfish, the things I've learned through all of this and the women I've met, and it's incredible. I mean, my life, it's enriched my life so much and given me experiences I would not be sitting here doing a podcast right now.
I had to bring her in kicking and screaming. No, I'm just teasing. Well, no, you're excited to talk about the TFRW.
Oh, I'm very excited to talk about
and you
it.
know, it's one of those things I've met some of my best friends.
Right.
Through the Texas Federation of Republican Women. And you hear stories like that. And, you know, Kit, one of the things I love the most about the Texas Federation of Republican Women and the local clubs and then even the national organization, first of all, you get to be with like-minded
Yes.
women who have the same, in our case, political beliefs and also want to make a difference in the
Right.
world. Just, you know,
Right.
hey, want to leave the world a little bit better than it was when you
That's right.
got here.
That's right.
And I just look at this as a chance for women to lift each other up. I certainly, when I've run for office, a lot of my volunteers were TFRW ladies. And so, and you go to the convention and you just feel so supported. And I think we unfortunately live in a time where women don't always support each other. And so let's talk about the support you feel from your fellow TFRW sisters when you're part of this organization.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, some of my best friends are my TFRW friends, and I've had at least one of the members in our local club. I think two of my members have said to me, thank you so much for getting this club started. It has changed my life. I was going through a bad time. I was kind of lost, and everybody, all TFRW women love our state, love our country.
Oh, yeah.
And this just gave them a way to serve and like you said, to make a difference. So I guess I got involved in 2011.
Okay.
And,
And what made you decide to get involved?
that's a good story.
Well, this is a fun
'Cause
story.
I never intended to be involved in politics. And always,
never say never.
That's right. That's right. Always voted, But my husband is Bill Whitehill, and he ran for the Court of Appeals.
Right.
And so when he started running, he said, the Court of Appeals is a 6-county,
Right.
covers 6 counties. So that's a lot of Republican clubs to go visit and
Yes.
get your name out. So he said, I'm going to need you to help me and go be a surrogate for me. And I was like, okay.
You're like, okay, honey, sure.
Okay. But I started going to a lot of Republican women's clubs, and I saw how the important work they were doing, how hard they were working, how they were helping the candidates, getting them elected.
Oh, yeah.
But also having fun.
Yeah.
And making friends. And so I said, we need a club in Capel. That's where I live. And we did not have one. And so that's how it all got started, was through that.
I love
So,
it. And
yeah.
that's the thing. So literally you can go from just saying, hey, because of a spouse or because you want to run for office, or you just see a need there. So
Right.
you went from saying, oh, yeah, I'm politics isn't my thing, to being the founder
Right.
of
Right.
a local club, and then also becoming, and now you're our president-elect. So in January, you will be following Glennis, and Glennis Chester, who did an amazing job as
Fabulous.
TFRW president, and she's here local, so she's a local girl. But we're so proud of her because, like you said, these hours that you're reporting, this was during a pandemic.
Right.
I mean, there were,
Right.
there were lots of opportunities with the Texas Federation of Republican Women where, you just downloaded an app on your phone and you had the ability to call people from your home. I remember getting out to knock on doors, and it was so. And it was during COVID, and we would have masks on. We did everything that we were, supposed to do, and we would knock on the door and then step back so that people didn't feel. And it's so funny because we had more people opening their doors because everybody was so desperate to talk to somebody. They're like,
That's right.
a real person. And so you would have 10 and 15-minute conversations in somebody's front yard.
Right.
And that's all from opportunities from the TFRW. How do people, if let's say I'm a young mom, I've got a job, I'm crazy busy.
Right.
Am I still, even maybe if I can't make a monthly meeting, can I still join the TFRW?
Absolutely.
And how do you do
Absolutely.
that? How do people go about that?
Okay, so you can go to our website,
Okay.
tfrw.org,
Excellent.
and on our website there is a little thing. Click on find a club,
Okay.
and you just need to put in like where you live, and then it'll tell you all the clubs that are available. Also, if you're in the Dallas area, there's a Dallas County Council of Republican Women, and that lists all the clubs. And also, like your local GOP office,
Oh, yeah.
they usually have somewhere on their website a list of all Republican clubs that are available.
And so find
So-
one that go and visit. Some people like a daytime club.
Right.
Some people like an evening club.
Right.
Mine's a lunchtime club, and it's just always worked out well with kids and jobs and all of that kind of stuff. And I've been a member of my local club since 1993,
That's
and I have,
amazing.
and
Yeah.
and here's the thing, I've gotten more information. Like I said, some of my best friends
Right.
are club members,
Right.
and oh, sorry, Grogu. Oh, there you go, Baby Yoda. All right, everybody's like, oh no, Baby Yoda has fallen over. What will she do? Well, we're going to save Baby Yoda. But anyways, so the great thing is, you're not only connected locally, like
Right.
so through Coppell Republican Women, whoever your club is, Capital Republican Women in Austin, Plano Republican Women, and here in Collin County, my goodness, we've got Connor Harrington, Golden Quarter, Republican Women of Greater North Texas, and we've got a ton of clubs here just locally, but that's because everybody kind of finds their group. Like
Right.
some clubs are more campaign oriented, some are more community oriented. I mean, my goodness, like I said, that's a whole nother show for another day.
Right.
All of the
Right.
charitable and
Right.
nonprofit organizations that
Right.
TFRW helps out, and so you get local information about your county, what's going on, races, you get to meet candidates, community leaders. And then every week, I get information from the state.
Mhm.
And this is all for my same $30
That's
of
right.
dues
That's
per
right.
year, or 35. I think we're 35 now. And then I also get, on a regular basis, information from the National Federation of Republican Women. So the great thing is, if there's a bill being pushed through Congress that we
Right.
need to stop, literally women from the entire country flood those phone
Yes.
lines. So let's
Yes.
talk about how all these work together. How do you get all of these organizations for the price of one? I mean, it's a good deal.
It's a very good deal.
Yeah.
It's an excellent deal. And a lot of people say, well, you should be charging more.
Right.
You know? But also when you become a member, well, even if you're not a member, there are a lot of resources on the TFRW and the NFRW websites.
Yep.
But once you become a member, there's even more resources on there. And it makes me sad that not everybody takes the time or has the time to get on the websites and explore.
Right.
Because there's so much information. And and we get action alerts like you were talking about
Yeah.
through both TFRW and NFRW regarding legislation
Yes.
and calls that need to be made. And it's just incredible the opportunities that are available. And I didn't say earlier, last year or the last term, we had a big effort to register new Republican voters.
Yes.
Huge effort.
Yes.
And we registered over 200,000 new voters.
That's
And
amazing.
It is. And, there's some really smart people who are out there that are able to figure that out. How
Right.
many were registered and how many actually voted. But it made a difference in many elections.
Oh, it did.
For sure. I know in our area, like Morgan Meyer and Angie
Yes.
Chin Button.
Yes.
Those were close races, and those voters made a big difference. So,
Yeah.
without the TFRW and the federation around the country and in each state, there wouldn't, like you said, when women work, we win. I mean,
We do.
right,
We do. And that's, it's interesting. And, so we had a couple of close races here in Collin County, Matt Shaheen and Jeff Leach. And again, I'm looking around while, people are up at headquarters getting ready to go knock on doors.
Right.
Republican women.
Right.
And it does make a difference. And so if you're sitting here thinking, well, I'm not into the whole campaign scene, I'm not going to knock on doors, which I understand. A lot of folks, that's not for them. Unfortunately, Kit, as I get older, my knees don't let me knock on as many doors as I used to.
But now there's so many other options you can do.
And there are. So let's talk about some of these
Yes.
different ways that you can literally make a difference, even in another state.
Right.
So
right.
how can you do that?
Yes. I mean, through the TFRW and NFRW, we have strike forces.
Yes.
We didn't used to have a strike force in Texas, but now we do. So,
Now it's necessary, yes.
So women in areas, that were available and maybe their areas weren't at risk,
Right.
they went to other areas. And we also went to Georgia through
Yeah.
NFRW, and one of our women in our club went to Georgia.
I love it.
And the Dallas area, Texas is so fortunate with, all of our opportunities and resources, but the Republican women's clubs were given lists of women voters in their areas that were likely Republicans that
Right.
may not be members of clubs.
Right.
And so we had a big, huge, through the Dallas County Council, huge push for postcard writing.
Love it.
And I had thought we sent 10,000 postcards, but I found out the other night 20,000 postcards were sent.
Wow.
To Republican women voters.
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
reminding them, and on the postcards they were handwritten, so they were personal. And on there we reminded people, don't forget to vote for,
Whoever
Joe,
the
Bill,
local
Bob,
person was,
all those
right?
people, Susie,
right.
that are running. And then you could also put in, and our club is, blah, 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 come visit us at our club.
Yeah.
So it was great marketing too, to get the word out.
I love it.
It's and we had a postcard writing party at my house.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many came, 12, but we had so much fun too.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you're all working towards this common goal, and
Yes.
and it's camaraderie, it's bonding, it's and especially nowadays, you turn on the news, if you dare to turn on the
Right.
news, and
Right.
you hear just doom and gloom, and you hear something that you're like, this isn't what
Right.
my friends and family, this isn't how we feel, and this isn't
Right.
how my neighbor feels, and so when you're around your fellow TFRW sisters, you feel like, okay,
yes.
I'm not losing my mind. There are people who do believe in liberty and freedom and
Right.
local control, and who believe in the right to protect yourself. And what I love, again, it's TFRW encourages other women to run for office. It's
Yes.
I think so many people think that, if you're in a Republican women's group, well, you're just there to support your spouse or this, that, or the other.
Right.
I mean,
No.
my goodness, we've
No.
got, Donna Campbell, senator, who just won the Kay Bailey Hutchison
Uh-huh.
Award.
Mhm.
Amazing. And when you listen to the legislation she has passed and
Yes.
what she has done since she has been in office and since before she got into office, it's just an amazing story. And so what I see is other women helping other women get to whatever that next level
Yes.
is. It's a great way to network for job opportunities and work. We've got a young lady in our club, local club, who's the head of a nonprofit, and she's been able to network and connect with people who
Right.
her nonprofit can help out.
Right.
So, there's just success story after success story. And we're so excited that you came in today. So, okay, so if I'm brand new, I don't know anything, where do I start? And if maybe I just want to follow the TFRW for a while or my local club, how can I do that?
Well, we are on Instagram. Also.
Excellent.
Yes. I believe
Excellent.
for Texas, it's TXFRW.
Okay.
That's right. And we do have a Facebook. And, most of not all, but a lot of local clubs also have Facebook or websites, where you can go look them up. But I would recommend just going to tfrw.org and just searching through there and looking for clubs. When you were sorry, I want to go back to the training.
Oh,
that you
please
mentioned.
do. Go right ahead.
So we have candidate development schools through
Yes.
TFRW, and we had so many women. There is so much excitement and so much momentum. We had so many women this time, and they're done by Zoom, and it's an 8-week course.
Right.
And so many women wanted to do it. We had to do it. We did it twice.
Oh, I
this
love
year.
it. I
think
love
that
it.
may be the first time we've done it twice. I could be wrong, but that's fabulous training, and that's for women who want to run for office.
Yep.
And
that's anywhere from running for school board, city
Yes.
council, mayor,
Right.
state rep, United States Congress.
Right.
Sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit.
We've got TFRW ladies who are Texas Supreme Court justices.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. And all these resources are from paying your dues to one local club.
Right.
And it really opens up your local opportunities, your statewide opportunities, and national opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
And
such good
we
stuff.
also, I don't know if you've heard of Leadership Institute.
Yes.
So they're out of Washington, D.C. They do fabulous training. And we partnered with them, and they did trainings all over the state throughout the
love
summer.
it.
And I believe it was maybe 28 trainings. I'm not sure. But they are fabulous. And
Another
they've started,
resource that you have if
Yes,
you're a member of the
yes.
TFRW.
And they've started a training that's online for people who are interested in running for school board.
Oh,
Because, that is such a critical area right now.
preach it.
Yes. And so you do not have to go anywhere. You can go to Leadership Institute and check out that training. And they have lots of other trainings online.
I would love for we need to do a segment where we just talk about
Yes.
partnering with them because,
Yes.
oh my goodness, school board. We've conservatives have been declared domestic terrorists.
Oh my gosh.
Because parents and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, my mom who just turned 79. Then back in the day when my brother and I were in school, she would have been considered a
Yes.
terrorist because
Yes.
she would go to PTA and to the school and to board meetings and she would express her opinion. It's our kids. It's our right as a parent.
Parents have
I mean,
to
is
be
that
involved.
crazy? What did you think when you started hearing all this stuff about people trying to shut school board,
Oh,
public speech down?
I never could have imagined that we would hear that.
Yeah.
The world is upside down and backwards. And
Yes.
And and it seemed like it happened so fast. I know it didn't, but it just seemed like it.
It was almost like overnight.
Yes.
The logical part of our brain knows it was over years.
right.
But it did seem like overnight, all of a
escalated.
sudden, if you were patriotic, you were the bad guy.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like, I love going to TFRW events and especially the convention. Everybody's in red, white, and blue. Everybody's got patriotic this and patriotic that on and great jewelry and all this kind of
I
fun
thought about
stuff.
wearing some of my, patriotic bling.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
thought, I don't know, that may be a little too much.
Next time.
That's right.
time.
But we do.
Yeah.
Also, I did want to say, I've been talking to people a lot lately about we need to be happy warriors.
Yes.
That's something we
Yes.
stress that
Agree.
we should, times aren't good, but we should not be out there being negative and,
Agree.
mad at everybody.
Yep.
To get our message out,
Yeah.
we try to be positive.
Yes.
And when people see us with that attitude, they go, that looks like a group I might be interested in.
Yeah. I'm
Not
really
attacking each other.
I'm
and-
really glad you brought that up. And again, I think that goes back and speaks volumes to the fact that the TFRW and the local clubs promote women supporting
Yes,
other
yes,
women. And
yes.
unfortunately, on social media, you don't see a lot of that. Unfortunately, people are so quick to attack.
Right.
That's just not the way it is.
No.
I kind of felt like we were in our own little, world when we went to Round Rock for this last
Right.
convention,
That was
and
wonderful.
and it was a great protective patriotic bubble where everybody was praying for each other and everybody had a kind word to say, and hey, what do you want to do next? How can I help?
Right.
And you've got a lot of TFRW ladies, a lot of buzz about TFRW ladies running for local school board, which, you know, I think that is probably, besides president, probably the toughest elected official job out there.
So hard.
It's people's kids and people's money.
It's emotional.
We love both of those things. Right. So, you know, but there are so few people that vote that if you get a handful of women who get behind a fellow female candidate who's part of the TFRW, you can win. I mean, you could win with 5,000, 6,000 votes in some ISDs, you know. It's we usually, for something like school board, have less than 10%. I think the only time, it really is sad. The only time that local elections have over 10% turnout is when like liquor is on the ballot or something like that. I'm like, okay, well, so we care about drinking, but nothing else. That's sad. But you know, it goes to show you that when you have women going out there and putting in millions of volunteer hours, it's going to make a difference. Yeah. Well, thank you for making a difference, Kit. I hope you enjoyed your time.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Well, we'd love to have you back. Just lots of good stuff to talk about. So thank you for the work you've done, and your husband, Bill, who was a great justice, a really good man. We thank him for his service. We thank you for your service in the past and for this big job as president-elect of the TFRW.
It's going to be very interesting times.
It is.
But I'm excited, and like I said, our women are motivated. So
and we're so excited because you are such a positive role model and such an uplifting, optimistic person. And I think we really need that right now. So thank you very much for your service.
You so much
and we look forward to working with
Kathy.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's fun. It's a good time. You know, and it's one of those things that we just you know, to get to meet ladies like you and to get to meet all these great women around the state who sometimes, you know, we only see every couple of years.
Right.
But you just have that bond and you have that sisterhood. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
My friends, a lot of my friends that aren't in politics think I'm pretty crazy.
Yes, you get that too. They're like, "What's the deal?" I'm like, "You should meet these ladies. They're awesome."
And you know, I'm doing this for my kids, our grandchildren, nieces, nephews, the next generations. I just can't sit by and go, "Oh well."
Yeah, you want to be part of making that positive difference. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Kit.
you so
We
much.
appreciate you.
enjoyed
Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.
I would love to come back.
Love it. All right. Well, that was Kit Whitehill, who is the TFRW. That's the Texas Federation of Republican Women. She is the president-elect. Just an incredible lady who has, I can't even imagine how many hours Kit has put in. But TFRW ladies are great, and they do such a great job. And we're going to have Mallory. Come on down. We've got Miss Texas in studio. Yay! So, anyways, we're just very appreciative that Kit was able to come in today and talk about the TFRW. Again, go to the TFRW website, check out your local club. Get involved, make a difference. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because so many members of the crew are already involved in their community somehow. But if you're a woman and you want to associate with other women, this is a great way to do that. Now, another great organization filled with lots of great women, and one of them is in studio today, is the Miss Texas organization. And Mallory Fuller, so glad to have you back, especially right here before you leave for the Miss America competition, which I'm like, how is it already? We're here.
You and me both.
We're here. So I'm very excited to have Mallory Fuller, who is 2021 Miss Texas. And we think the world of you. We are so excited for you. We are absolutely 100% cheering you on. Let's talk about, because this is the 100th anniversary of the Miss America pageant. Let's talk about it. And what are your thoughts? Where are you going to be? When are you leaving? And how can we support you? Is there like a People's Choice number?
So there actually is.
Yes. All right, Mallory, tell us about it.
Yes. So I will be leaving for Miss America on December 8th.
Oh my goodness.
The final night competition happens on December 16th. Wow. So it's coming up very soon. It's less than 3 weeks away now. And I am just so incredibly excited like you said, it's the 100th anniversary of Miss America. And I am just so honored that I get to represent Texas, being somebody that this has been my dream since I was a little girl. The fact that I get to go to the 100th anniversary of Miss America is just so surreal. And I'm beyond excited.
Oh, well, and we're so excited for you. And, JP and JP sends his best. He's been spending time with his dad, who's been in the hospital,
Yes.
but just got upgraded to rehab. So we're very excited for that. So he says
Awesome.
hello. But, one of the things that JP and I have said over the years when we've brought our Miss Texas winners into the studio with us is obviously beautiful young women. I mean, you're a gorgeous young woman, but it's the heart and it's the desire to serve and to be part of something that's bigger than you. And I feel like, and I've said this and JP has said this, your platform, unfortunately, I'm going to say, and then people are like, why are you saying that? Unfortunately, there is such a huge need for what your platform is, and especially since the pandemic. And let's talk about your platform.
Yes. So my platform, we've talked about it before. It is Mallory's Mission, Suicide Prevention.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is so incredibly important right now, especially coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
People are struggling. People are struggling with their mental health in general, but suicide
Yes.
rates, they are going up. And
it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. And I, as Miss Texas, I've been able to go into schools, talk to elementary school students about my book, which we will talk about.
Oh, we're going to be talking about book number 2.
Book number 2.
You're here. Breaking news.
Yes. But also going into the middle school and high schools,
Yes.
which is actually, Miss Texas typically does a lot more elementary schools than she does the older ages.
Right.
Which has not been the case for me. I have been to more high schools than I have the elementary schools because counselors are reaching out. They want this message in the schools because they see that their students are struggling. And so going in and hearing from the students, I'll have students who come up to me and talk to me. I'll receive DMs on social media from students who are thanking me for talking about something that's so hard to talk about, but it's so necessary and it's urgent that we talk about it.
You said 2 key words associated with suicide. It is necessary. And if you think that young children don't know about it, there was a story that we reported on not too long ago. Well, it was probably about 6 months ago. And the age of children, like this was, I think, out of Cook's Children in Fort Worth, I want to say. And they were talking about the staggering numbers of suicide attempts. And we're talking, Mallory, kids 7, 8,
Yes.
9 years old. And unfortunately, some of these kids are successful. So if you think your child or your grandchild, they're not aware of that. Yes, they are. And they've got to have a place to release that. So let's talk about, and then I want to talk about how you got involved in your platform initially. But let's talk about what can you do for these younger kids? Because you have to talk, they're feeling this mental health. And I don't even think, we talked about this last time you were in studio. I don't even think we've reached the tip of the crisis for mental health in our country since this pandemic. So my goodness, if we're struggling and we're adults, I'm a much older adult than you, but if older adults are struggling, I've got friends. I know I've got folks close to me who have had breakdowns and near breakdowns, alcohol use, drug abuse, all of that's on the rise. So if we're having a hard time as adults and as young adults, what do you do for somebody in elementary school or junior high? How are you helping that age group?
Well, it's interesting that you pointed out that the ages are getting much younger for children, not teens, children who are struggling with suicidal thoughts as well. And I remember the first time that I went to a school and the counselor told me she wanted 4th graders in there. I was a little shocked. I was a little scared. And I was like, I don't feel like, are they ready for that? And she was like, yes, we're seeing it. And they came in, they had insightful questions, and they knew exactly what it was. And so that was a really big eye-opener for me, that it's not just teens, it's young children as well. But for the kiddos, I actually decided to write a children's book, and I started it at the beginning of the pandemic. My first book is called Henry's Happy Heart.
Love it.
And it really focuses on asking for help with your emotions, asking for help with your heart, just like you would if you were sick and you needed to go see the school nurse, or if you had a question on your homework.
Yeah.
And so I developed a school program for the elementary school based off of Henry's Happy Heart. And I go in and I have this big cutout of the main character, Henry, and letters, and the kids will come up and they'll hold the letters. And the last point that we get to is, who would you go see if you were really, really sad? And it's interesting because I'll always get like, oh, I would go see my friend, or I'd go see the teacher, or I'd go see my mom. But it oftentimes takes a while for them to say, I would go see the school counselor. Yeah. And so I really feel like it's so important that kids know that the counselor is there and she can help you with any problem. My mom is an elementary school counselor, and she has always told me that there is no problem that is too big to be worked through. And so that is one of my big emphasis for the students at the elementary schools that I go to, is asking for help when you're sad, just like you would ask for help when you're sick.
Right. Well, and that's, I think, and it's a hard leap for us as adults to make, especially people like, I would say, especially the 40 and over crowd, because we were raised where you just didn't talk about stuff like that. You know, we started the show off giving a shout out to Brandy and Faye, who are two of our members of the crew who are doing the breast cancer awareness walk. And they're out, they're out there in all their, pink this and all this stuff. It's just fantastic. But years ago, we used to not talk about cancer, and especially breast cancer. Thank goodness we're over that. We've got to get that way with mental health. And again, so if you start young, telling kids things like, well, you go in every year and you see your pediatrician, you see your doctor, and they make sure your tummy's okay and your brain's okay and your eyes are okay and everything's working right. Why wouldn't we go in, at least for an annual mental health checkup? I think people need to, and this is what you're doing, and God bless you, Mallory. Seriously, I cannot, I know I speak for so many people when I say thank you for doing this, because you're helping make a mind shift and a paradigm shift at a very young age. So maybe kids now who are in elementary school have the chance to grow up knowing, first of all, yes, it is okay to ask for help.
Yes.
I remember my daughter when she was in 9th grade. She, by September of her freshman year, she had already been to the funeral of a friend of hers who was a year younger, who she had gone to middle school with, cheered with, was on student council with, did vacation Bible school volunteering with. Great, just amazing young lady, but took her life. And I just remember thinking, how is my daughter just a freshman and she already knows somebody close to her who has committed suicide? And it's a permanent solution for a temporary problem. How did you get into this platform?
So I actually have a little bit of a similar story. Okay. When I was a sophomore in high school, we lost my friend Johnny to suicide. And it was something that was so shocking for us because we didn't talk about that. None of us, we didn't say the word suicide. We didn't really even talk about mental health. I think we're getting better about talking about mental health. Suicide is still that thing that we don't want to talk about. But we had no idea that something like that could have happened to Johnny. And we had no idea, being from a small town, that it would happen to our small town. And it was so devastating and so shocking. But I was really inspired by Johnny's parents because they wanted his life to leave a legacy. Yes. So Johnny's dad reached out to an organization called the Jason Foundation, and together they worked to get an act called the Jason Flat Act passed in Texas. And that makes it mandatory for teachers to be trained in suicide prevention annually instead of just once. But since then, my work with suicide prevention has grown immensely. I wrote the books. I'm going into the high schools, and the information that I'm giving the students is very similar to the trainings that maybe the teachers have to go through. Right. The Jason Foundation and we created a college training program. So
that's
I'm also
fantastic.
taking it into college campuses as well. So being able to give students this information so that they can save a life.
Right.
So it's not just me telling people about the warning signs, but when I educate high school students, they can take that with them and they can make a difference.
Yeah. And again, these are just such necessary tools that we need to put out there to all ages. Again, all ages. And if you need help, and this is anytime, if you need help, if you have somebody who you know who needs help, reach out to our show, reach out to Mallory, ask for help, and it can be confidential, and it may save a life. I'll never forget, we had when we were doing our mental health moment on the show, we had an individual who was sharing our show on his Facebook Messenger and accidentally shared it with a group that he didn't mean to, that was like one of his groups for some, people have this group and that group. And a lady responded back and said, "How did you know I needed this at this time?" And he said, actually, I was going to apologize. I sent this to a small group and I didn't mean to. And her son was suicidal. And so they were able to get her, I think, 13 or 14-year-old son help. You don't know. I mean, just offer it. Just say, "Hey, we're here." And we know people who can help you. You don't have to suffer. And suicide isn't the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I was at a high school one day and I got a question from a student that was, can somebody get over suicidal thoughts? And I was so blown away by it because it was such a insightful question. And the answer to that is yes. There is treatment. There is help. But I think because we don't talk about it and we stigmatize it so much, we think that if somebody's struggling with suicidal thoughts, that's the end. There's no helping them. There's no hope to be had. But that is not the case. There are so many people out there who have struggled with suicidal thoughts in the past who are living very happy, full lives. My best friend Colby is one of those people. When we were in high school, she struggled really, really hard with suicidal thoughts. And now she is one of the happiest people that I know. And so there is help and there is hope. We just need to be able to support each other and encourage each other to ask for help when we need it.
I think it's fantastic what you're doing. And how do we watch you? How do we support you on in the Miss America? And did you bring your fiddle today?
I did bring my fiddle. Yes.
Yes, we get to hear her talents ahead of time. This is so awesome. Oh, thank you, Kit. Yes, and your lovely assistant, Kit Whitehill from the TFRW. There you go. So we're gonna have Mallory play the fiddle, and you will just be. I got to see her play at the Miss Texas competition and was just blown away. But how do we? Is this going to be televised? I know there is a People's Choice component to this. So how does the crew vote for you and support you in your efforts as Miss Texas competing in the 100th Miss America pageant?
So it will be televised in some capacity. I do not know the answer to where.
When you find out, let us know. We'll spread the word
for sure. But I think the best way that you can support me is go on to my Instagram or to my Facebook page. So my Instagram is at Miss America TX, and then my Facebook page is Miss Texas 2021. But I will be posting a link to a Spot Fund account.
Oh,
and so
yes, okay.
My goal is to be in the top 5 fundraisers for the Miss America organization.
I love it.
So
I love it. We
I'll
will
be
definitely
posting
push
that link so
we'll
people
push
can,
that out for you, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, how did you get into playing the fiddle?
Yes. So I started playing the fiddle when I was only 6. Wow. So I have 2 older sisters who also competed in the Miss Texas organization. And when I was little, the most important thing to me was to be just like my big sisters.
Oh, I love it.
And the oldest sister, her name is Morgan, and she played the fiddle. And I remember when I would sit in the audience and watch her, I would just get chills all over. And I wanted to be just like her. And so that's when I started, and I got hooked, and never looked back.
I love it. Well, okay, so I'm just going to let your talent speak for itself.
Okay.
So Miss Texas, with her talent, you're getting a preview to the Miss America competition. Oh, yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, so this is... she's just, again, Mallory is a beautiful young woman. But let me tell you, Mallory is one of the kindest people you will ever meet and most humble people you will ever meet. And I just love that because you're just you're so full of the desire to help other people and bring joy to other people's lives. And I think that speaks volumes for your character. And boy, this is one of the ways she brings joy to people's lives. And wait till you hear her. I think we got to hear a little bit of your fiddle playing when you were a Miss Texas ambassador.
Yes.
That was great. That was via Zoom when we were having to do all of the
Zoom.
interviews via Zoom. But now we have her live in studio.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this works. Y'all can hear the music too. I don't know.
Wow, where's the applause button? We need like a big old applause button. That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Mallory, I just cannot wait to see you on stage in the Miss America competition. You know, and as a Texan, thank you so much for representing us so well, and thank you for bringing the joy of music to people all around the great state of Texas, and now about to be all around America, and just again, your platform just. There's really, you know, and God always has a plan, and timing is everything. And I think your platform really speaks to the masses, the young, middle-aged, older, and everybody in between. And so thank you for that. If I'm a teacher or a parent or a grandparent, how do I get copies of your books? And then how can I have you visit one of my kids' schools?
Yes. So both of the books are available on Amazon. You can look up Henry's Happy Heart or Henry Gets Help, which is the second book that was just released. And to request me for a school appearance, you can go online to misstexas.org, and there is a button that says Book Miss Texas, and you will fill out the form and get all of the information. I love going into the schools, and I really and truly believe that that's where I make such a huge difference, and I tell those students about things that are so, so important. So I would love to visit any school that anyone wants to request me for.
Excellent. Well, again, we thank you. We love you. We're so excited for you. We're going to be cheering you on the whole way. Just could not be more proud to have you representing the great state of Texas, and with your big heart and your beautiful smile and your fiddle and Henry. Just we're really pulling for you. We're just really excited for you. You're welcome. And then I know you're going to be on This Pink Cloud today.
Yes.
So you're actually doing 2 JPK broadcasting shows today, and of course anybody from the crew knows my brother is the host, Kelly Reverb. Okay, he's a DJ. That my maiden name is not Kathy Reverb, even though I did have a student who one time was like, "Oh, you used to be Kathy Reverb," and I'm like, "No, no." But my brother is the host of a show, and it's all about sobriety and recovery, and mental health and mental well-being, and all of that goes hand in hand. So I'm really excited that you're going to be on his show today and talk about this, because again, that's another area. We can't be afraid if you're hooked on drugs or alcohol, and during the pandemic, that's increased. So that's another one of those areas. And if you want to speak a little bit to what you're going to be talking about today, that's another area where don't be afraid to ask for help. And there are people who can help.
Yes. So I am not an expert when it comes to all of the issues that will be discussed today on the Pink Cloud. But I will be talking specifically about suicide prevention, and hopefully we can have a good conversation. Maybe I can learn a few things from him. So I'm really excited about it. And I know that we are focusing more on suicide prevention, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Because, again, it's something, you know, if suicide prevention, if talking about it saves one life, it's all worth it.
Absolutely.
It's all worth it, you know.
Absolutely.
So, again, thank you, Mallory, for all that you do. Miss Texas, not Mallory. Thank you, Miss Texas, for all that you do and the good work you're doing and you will continue to do. And we cannot wait to follow you at the Miss America Pageant. And we just wish you the best and pray for blessings on you and for safe travels. And you take care of yourself. And then come back and talk to us if you're available after
good.
that.
I can do that.
There
I can
we
make
go.
that happen.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
you, Miss
you.
Texas. Well, we're just so excited y'all spent today with us. Share this show out because we've got, there are ways to get involved. There are ways to make a difference in this world. And if you know somebody or if you yourself are struggling, and JP and I say this all the time, please reach out to us, reach out to Mallory, to the Miss Texas organization. Reach out to someone because there is help and you should not have to suffer. And if you're having suicidal thoughts especially, there are people who can help. We will keep it confidential, but just please let us know if you need help. I hope that everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We are heading into the Thanksgiving Day weekend. So Monday, we will have Dr. Norm Clothier, and I believe we're going to have a friend of ours, Judy, who's going to be in from Canada before she heads back, and she's going to talk about the importance of, keeping America and just all the great freedoms that we have because she lives in another country and just doesn't have the opportunities that we have here in America. So can't wait to hear from her. And then we'll get an update from JP and we'll talk a little Dallas Cowboys and we'll talk a little college football. But you have a blessed weekend and thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye, y'all.
Hello, Patriots. I'm Abraham George, Chairman of Collin County Republican Party. I wanted to invite you to our special event on November 27th. It's a gubernatorial debate happening here in Frisco, Texas at the Embassy Suites. Then we will open at 9 a.m. and our debate will start at 10 a.m. We will have a straw poll at the end. It will be your choice, your chance to voice your opinion. Who do you want to be your next governor of Texas? I would look forward to seeing you there. Come up and sign up. Come on and sign up at CollinCountyGOP.org. You can get your tickets, and we would love to see you there. Thank you so much.